Greetings, Pathfinders, and welcome to another edition of Booster Bestiary. I'm your host, Dustin, and today we are going to go over a one of 6 booster packs here and make ourselves a Pathfinder 2e monster. If anyone here has any suggestions for any future packs of any specific set or game, or has any cards that you see me crack open that you are especially fond of seeing turned into a monster, go ahead and chat, because this is recorded live in front of a Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube audience. With that being said, let's get cracking right about here. We go. All right. So first I'm going to roll me my d6, and I got a 1. So by pure chance, for the 3rd time in a row, we are cracking more Crimson Vow. I get most of my packs, I think all of them at this point, from pre-release kits. So while these do say draft boosters, pre-release kits they're like a halfway between a set booster and a draft booster. They're technically a draft booster, and they don't have as many of the alt arts as pre-release as set packs, but they do have a better chance of getting certain cards. Every Crimson Vow pack I've opened thus so far from the pre-release kits has had a foil or a mythic or something cool about it. So let's go ahead and see what we got here now. Sorry about the mix-up here. This is a new setup here I'm trying. So, all right. So we have, for those who don't know or who don't come to the show as often, as you should, I frequently now look at the non-creature cards as well, because we are looking... Hi, Script! Evening! Because we also... I do like to blend and be inspired by the non-creature cards to add them to the creatures to get a little bit extra kick out there. And those have been going pretty well. So we have a Flame Blessed Bolt. Bolt of Purity, does damage, exiles things so they can't come back to life. Killing the dead and keeping them dead. You know, I would love that as a spell for a PC. A spell that does some damage, a little bit less than it should for its level, but stops any triggering effects that would happen when the creature dies. Like just an anti-death throw spell. That would be pretty cool, I gotta admit. I guess a non-lethal spell would also do the trick, but there's a lot of things that are immune to non-lethal. You know, it'd be a neat spell. I'm keeping that in the back of my mind. Maybe a spell trick. Ooh, I could put that in a future book. We could have a spell trick for Magic Missile that stops... I don't know. We'll think about that. Alright, so Alchemist Retrieval returns a card from a graveyard to your hand. Alright, you could collect the souls of the recently dead and throw them where? Adamant Will. Let me just move my camera over here. Hearthstone Fandom Entomb. Yes. Entomb. Adamant Will. Target creature gets +2/+2 and indestructible. That could go if we get a white creature. We could throw that on here. Blood Petal Celebrant. It's a vampire that throws around petals for weddings. Although those petals may or may not be made out of congealed blood. I really like that. I love that flavor. I'm not sure what we could do with it, but I kind of love it. I'm going to consider that. Monkass. I'm not sure what you're meaning there, Script. Monkass. Is that backwards? Sacnum? I'm not sure. Alright. Moldgraph Millipede. This would be our 2nd centipede if we do this. What does it do? It mills 3 and then gets bigger if there's dead bodies around. So when it's... Ooh, that would be cool. I do love summoning creatures intended for summoners to use. I'm getting inspiration here for like a creature that you summon later in a battle that gets stronger if there's dead creatures already on the battlefield. Because usually you'll want to summon right away. Like ideally, you'll want to summon before combat even starts, because you don't want to waste all the reaction summoning in the middle of combat. It just feels like a waste. But if you had a creature that got bigger, came out and it was stronger if the battle had already progressed or there were, recently slain creatures around, that would be cool. Oh, it's an emoji. Okay, yeah. For some reason, it didn't come up on my, it's the sweating guy. Okay, cool. It didn't come up on my thing for some reason. Alright. Undying Malice. Creature dies and comes back to life. I love doing that in actual Pathfinder. I don't so much like it on creatures, because it feels like something you should apply to a creature who just happens to be an end boss. I don't like creatures coming back after you kill them unless they're bosses. It feels weird. Like, there's some exceptions. If you have a monster that just, like, dies way too easily. Okay. Ooh, what's this? Ooh, a wolf spirit. Check that. Ooh, check that out. We have here a fungusy wolf. Gain life equal to the grace toughness of other creatures you control. So it creates healing spores that heal everybody based on the vitality of your most vital. Although if you were summoning a creature, this would probably be your most vital creature. I do love the idea of a wolf spore spirit thing. We're getting somewhere kind of with that, but I don't like it as much as the millipede if we were to do a summon creature. And I'm thinking too much of summons. Syncopate, classic. It's a counterspell. It counterspells. Pyre Spawn, elemental. When it dies, it deals 3 damage to a target, and it is a big boy. So it's just a Balor. Just take out some of the abilities of the Balor, make it a slightly lower level, and you have a Pyre Spawn. It's a big elemental that explodes. Alright. Trosco Infantry. It could come out transforms when it dies, so it's a spirit soldier that becomes armor when it dies. You know, I was gonna say, I already hate it because the disturbed cards mean it should be a boss. But a creature that turns into armor that the boss could wear, that's really cool. I'm putting that aside. I love that as a monster idea. As like a mook. That then, like, when it dies, it instantly becomes armor or weapons on the boss. That's pretty cool. I gotta admit, there's a lot you can do with that. Alright, so Markov Waltzer. The beginning of combat on your turn, up to 2 target creatures you control each get bigger. It's a leader, it's a vampire, he's hasty, he flies. I'm bored. Wash away, it counters a spell. Yeah, okay. Oh, we have a rare Alchemist Gambit. Yeah, take an extra turn. It's a very dangerous time warp. Yeah. Not a fan. We've got a big slug. Haha. And an ambusher. We have a gotta get it up here. A werewolf. It flips and it ambushes. It's a human who ambushes and turns into a werewolf. Again, I'm not too inspired by that. So we have a vampire that throws pebbles. We have the spirit that turns into armor, which is my current favorite, I think. Which I think we would want to look at the Cassian if we were to do that. Yeah, let's just go ahead and do that. Maybe with Adamant Will. I'll think about that as I work on them. But for now, I need to get up Scryfall, and we need to go ahead and search. So I hope everyone's having a good week. I've actually been playing a lot of my home game role playing with my players on Discord. We've been having a really good time. I feel like I kind of want to write a guide as to how fun that is, but I feel like it's not as necessary. So up right now, here's a bagworm caterpillar moth giant. Someone on No Direction recently asked me to make it for him. They threw me the image and went, make this a monster, and I'm like, okay. And as you can see by the word Bone Charity in there, I just took an Ostraver and like modified it a little, not very much though. It's kind of weaker than an Ostravite, but I mean I made it in 2 minutes for a meme, so I'm counting it as a win. Scryfall Drogskull Infantry. Oh, and last week we made Adeline Resplendent Cathar, which has been posted elsewhere. I keep on doing these themes of rituals. I need to stop. I can't help it. I love the idea of creatures working together to do cool stuff in an encounter. And Pathfinder needs more of that. Like, if you could see a monster entry and go, I know exactly what the creator wanted me to do with this, but I could think of a couple more things I could do with it, that's a successful monster for me. Alright, so here we have it. This is our Drogskull Infantry. He swore to protect the moorlands. A little thing like death was no excuse to break his oath. And Drogskull Armaments. When he could no longer carry on, he imparted his strength to one who took up his duty. Alright, so here it's a 2/2 for 2, so I'm thinking like a level 1 monster, which, what's neat about this guy is he's intended to be a pawn, in a way. Not a pawn, I don't like saying that, but he's intended to be a helper, so it's kind of okay if he's such low level, because I could see him used all the way up to like level 4 encounters, still successfully, because even if he dies, he's going to empower the boss. Which is dangerous to balance, because I would definitely put a note on this, a sidebar in this, if this were a real bestiary entry saying like, oh, hi, Katie. Hi, welcome. I would definitely put a sidebar on this entry saying like, don't use this with like a CR +2 or higher, or CR +3 or a higher boss. Like, this is going to help the boss, so like be careful if you're going to use this. Consider the statistics on the boss. Perhaps even if he's going to be put in a position to die like pretty much no matter what, I would actually recommend weakening the boss and then using the normal boss. Like, use the weak template on Archives of Nethys and then use the normal template when this guy dies. But we'll have to get into what he's actually going to do when he dies a little later. I'm getting ahead of myself. All right, so here we have a spirit, a good aligned spirit. So let's go ahead and see what it is that spirits use. So let's go Drog Skull Infantry. I do love spirits. It's kind of a shame that there's no... Let's make him level 2. 2 for 2. We're going to make him level 2. It is kind of a shame... He's swarmed back there. It's kind of a shame that there's no summoning spell for spirits, because some of them are really cute. Like the little fox, the Ember Fox. Oh, that's an elemental. The Knowledge Fox. Like, it's definitely not an enemy. I don't think you would ever fight. It's this little fox from Bestiary 3 that just gives you advice and stuff. You would never fight it, but, like... You can't summon it. So, like, I guess, I mean, you'll encounter one as an NPC. But it's such a cool idea that if you could summon one, and there's no summon spirit spell. There is a summon spirit spell in my legendary shaman's book, but in the core game, there's no summon spirit spell, and that's always a little disappointing. So we're going to make this a spirit, a level 2 creature. We will give it the traits. It says spirits are often incorporeal. Yeah, does anyone remember exactly what incorporeal does? I tend to avoid it just because I've had so many bad... My players have had so many bad experiences with incorporeality in 1E, which is not a good excuse to not use it, because I know a lot of those kinds of things have been fixed. Incorporeal creatures can attempt strength-based checks against physical creatures or objects. Oh, they cannot. Okay, so they can't shove. They can't use athletics against normal. Ooh, that gives me a good idea, though. They usually have immunity to effects that require physical body, like disease, poison, and precision damage, and resistance against all damage, except one specific one, and they could go inside walls. I mean, that's not too bad. They're nowhere near as bad as they used to be. So let's go ahead and make this guy like a Phantom Knight. That would be really cool. Alright, so we're going to make this guy like a Phantom Knight. I like that. So I'm going to adjust his base roadmap. He's going to be a striker. Brute. He's going to be a brute. He's going to be a soldier. He's tactical. He is a soldier, spirit soldier. So yeah. So, let's go ahead and change that description to his flavor text. He swore to protect the Moorlands. A little thing like death was no excuse to break his oath. There we go. And we will... Oh, I gotta give him the incorporeal trait. There we have it. Our languages, he'll have common... Drog Skull, is that a language? I'm going to say it is. I'm going to say Skull. Nah, I'm just getting common. Alright, so he will have high strength, which is funny being incorporeal. Just anything? No, they have low strength. They have no strength. They have a -5 usually. Well, the Phantom Knight from Bestiary 3 does. So yeah, I'm going to give him abysmal strength, because he is incorporeal. Give him a bit of dex. Give him... Do they use... I'll give him lower con. I'll give him some con. They usually have con. Low intelligence, low wisdom, moderate charisma. I'll give him higher wisdom. He gives him a higher wisdom for being dead. He's seen a lot of stuff. He's been around for a while. I don't like that +2 dex. I'm gonna give him plus there. Can't incorporeal creatures have strength? I'm gonna look at one more. The Ghost Commoner has -5. Okay, so incorporeal means you have -5 strength. I'm learning on stream. How embarrassing. And let's go back to the Ghost Knight. Phantom Knight has... No, the Phantom Knight has low AC because they have the resistances. Because, yeah, I like that. Alright, so we're going to give him low AC. He's only a 2/2 after all. We'll keep that high fort. No, high will. So he's not quite a soldier. Soldiers usually have high fort. We're going to give him moderate fort, moderate reflex, high will. The high will is important for this guy. You don't want his weapons to go to the PCs if they're not supposed to, or to go to the enemy if they're not supposed to. So that makes sense. We're going to give him, like the Phantom Knight, a -1 save penalty versus death effects because he's already dead. So it would be easier for him to move on. And that makes sense. We're also going to give him the resistances. You should give damage resistance to all your incorporeal creatures. So let's just give him a 2. And that will be all damage 2 except force or ghost touch. Double resistance versus non-magical. There we go. Let's see if a weakness. He does not have a weakness. Although he does have... Is he a phantom? He kind of is. Alright, I'll give him the phantom abilities, sure. So let's give him immunities to disease, paralyze, poison, and precision. Oh, I need to give him the phantom ability, don't I? Yes, I do, yes, I do. So incorporeal, phantom, ethereal, and spirit. Excellent, excellent. Alright. So for those who didn't see, last Friday I did Infinite reviews. We did athletics. We did the Dragonkin book. I'm still really impressed with. That's Luis Loza's book. You should totally check that out. I'm really loving that. And showed off Starstone and showed off the Legendary Shaman thing I worked on. That's on drive-through, but not on there. Really loved the... Still really love the work Novel Enigma's doing. I know I may have come off a little harsh on the Primalist. It wasn't my cup of tea, but the Mentalist in that book and the archetypes totally make up for it. Like, his books are still insanely inexpensive, in a good way. I guess. I mean, it's weird saying that, I guess, but his stuff is just really cool. So I'm gonna give this person I'm gonna give this spirit high intimidate because they're meant to be scary. I'm also gonna give him high perception because he is kind of a scout. He should have dark vision. All right, cool. All right, so for attacks, you will not have mandibles because you are not a bug. You will have your sword, which will just be a +9 to hit's fine. Let's give it finesse, force, and magical. Ooh, a force sword. That's really cool. All right, I know what we're doing here now. We'll just have it do 1d8 plus 4 piercing. Force, right. Force, and this is called Phantom Sword. He will have a fly speed of 25. He doesn't fly. He'll just have 25 feet. He does not fly. He does not have the flying ability. I'm not giving flying to a non-flying creature because that is one of the cardinal rules of Magic the Gathering is don't give flying to things that aren't flying in the art because that will confuse people. And that goes for tabletop games too. If you get this really awesome picture of a flying creature and you intended the creature not to fly, you better give that a fly speed or you better talk to your artist to be like, this thing wasn't meant to fly. I'm so sorry. You do not mislead people into thinking that your creatures are flying or it will cause trouble. If it's just hovering off the ground a little, you better write an ability in there that says, like, it only hovers off the ground a little. Don't give this thing total flight because it's not meant to do that. I'm sorry about the artwork, but it is not balanced to fly. And this guy, this Drawskull Infantry is not balanced to fly. Alright, so he will have susceptible to death. Although phantoms aren't alive, neither are they undead, and they're uniquely vulnerable to the effects of death. A phantom whose hit points are reduced to 0 as the result of a death effect is immediately whisked away to the River of Souls, where their soul resumes the usual path to the afterlife. That's fun, that's fun. Alright, so, susceptible to death. And is this a general ability? This is a defensive ability, which is kind of funny because it's not exactly... I mean, it's a weakness. Weaknesses are in defense, so that does make sense. Do I want to give this guy a bow? What does he have? He has a shield. Yeah, I should give him a shield block. Where do you put shield block on creatures? I guess it would just go under abilities down there, like offensive abilities, but it feels defensive. I guess you put under defense. Yeah, you do. Living Shield. No, you don't. You put it under... Let's look up Lizard Folk Defender. Oh, yeah, Shield Block. Yeah, you just put it under there. That's easy. Alright, so let's go... Shield Block. Defense. Action. Reaction. Excellent. Easy, easy. Hope y'all aren't hearing the helicopter. We've had some really loud helicopters over the last couple days, and I have no idea why. I have no idea. I guess the base maybe is doing something. There's a base up here in Seattle, right? Yeah. I don't know, though. All right, cool. So let's give this thing a really cool shield. And to do that, I'm going to go ahead and look at the Shield Archon. I know it's a level 10 creature, so we're going to have to adjust. The Shield Archon's shield is the focal point of its courage. It could use Shield Block as a free action, so every reaction has hardness 10, hit points 80. So a level 10 creature should have hardness 10, hit points 80. Let's look under equipment just for a second. We'll look under shields. And we'll look under specific shields. Oh, they don't put their AC bonus hardness under there. Hardness 5, 10. Alright, cool. Let's see what a lesser sturdy shield, that's a level 4 item. That's hardness 8, hit point 64. So that does feel about... That's a little too strong for this guy. This guy's only level 2. Let's make it hardness 6, hit points... Level 2. Hardness 6, hit points... 48. Actually, let's keep it really high hit points. This is a force shield after all. So hardness 8, hardness 6, hit point 64. I know that's weird, but I'm cool with it. So force shield. Items, Phantom Sword, force shield. Alright, bestow armaments. No, Drog Skull armaments. Alright. Oh, that was the shield block. Drog Skull armaments. Alright. This will be a general ability with no actions. Because usually... See, I already don't like that. I want to make this an on-death effect, but I don't want this to use its reaction because, like, if it shield blocks and then still dies in the same round, it won't be able to do its big thing. And that will just make it so GMs will never want to shield block with it. Which is fair. No, it's not. I don't like that. So let's go ahead and look up a Balor. Death throws. Okay, cool. Death throws are not a reaction. That's great. So Drogskull Armaments will have Necromancy for sure. Abjuration. I'm going to do 2. That'd be cool. No. Let's go Divine Abjuration. Divine. Death. Yeah. So Death, Abjuration, and Divine. That's cool. I like Death and Abjuration. I don't think I've seen them together before. I love Abjuration. I'm a sucker for Abjuration. If I could ever have a chance to use Abjuration, I will use it. Wow, this goes under defenses. I don't think of a death throw as defense usually, but whatever. Alright, when a Drogskull infantry dies, it bestows its Phantom Sword and... Phantom and Force Shield and Phantom Shield. Phantom Shield. It bestows its Phantom Shields, Phantom Sword, and Phantom Shield to one ally within 100 feet, 30 feet. How long should it last? An hour? Yeah. The armaments last 1 hour. Unless... Ooh, I like this. What is the spell that lets corpses repose? Is there a spell that to let corpses not whisk away in... in Pathfinder 2? I feel like there is. I want a spell where you don't let, so corpses don't decay. Like the spell so you could still raise somebody like weeks and weeks and weeks after they're dead, even if you are far, far, far away from a sanctified corpse. The spell blesses a corpse with positive energy, preventing it from being turned into an undead creature. Attempts to raise the corpse as an undead automatically fail if the corpse is of a person slain. Am I in 1E? Oh, I'm in 1E. Darn it, Archives. You should know I'm pretty much only doing 2E stuff right now. Alright, so let's check this out. Quick shout out again to, I did a review on it a while ago, the Envoy. I built an Envoy recently, and I was first really hesitant. I was like, this looks a little too strong. But then I played it as a GM NPC that was helping my players out, and it's good. It's not too good. Like, it's very well balanced. The Envoy, Legendary Games Envoy. Love it, love it. Got to use it for the first time, and I liked it. Alright, so we're going to look here under equipment, spells, talking corpse, gentle repose. I think that's what I'm looking at. Yeah, it is. Till the next time you make daily preparations. Alright, this lasts 1 hour, but can be extended until the next time you make your daily preparations by casting gentle repose. Yeah, sure. Might be too good. Second level spell, second level creature. You probably won't have it at that point, so I think it's okay. Okay, so the armaments last 1 hour or until dropped. Here we go. The armaments can only be used by the creature targeted by chosen by Drogskull infantry. They disappear if any other creature attempts to wield them. Cool, that works. Treat the sword as a long sword that deals force damage. Treat the sword as a magical longsword that deals force damage. What do you do about runes? I'll just type that in, I guess. Treat the shield as a ghost touch shield. As a steel shield made out of force with 8 hardness and 64 hit points. Break threshold 32. Let's do 6 hardness. Alright, let me check one little thing about it. It bestows its Phantom Sword and it bestows its Phantom Sword and Phantom Shield automatically repaired to full hit points to one ally within 30 feet. Unless destroyed. Cool. So this way, even if it uses its shield, it's not going to give you a second-hand shield with a bunch of dinks on it. It will magically bestow upon you the full awesomeness of its shield. And there we have it. Oh, just on time. Awesome. So thank you for sticking here. I had a great time making this monster. If anyone wants any kind of shows like this, maybe making spells, items, or just going over anything, any other third-party books or anything that I've written in more detail than I do on Friday, please go ahead and give me a comment somewhere. I will overanalyze whatever it is you want me to live on stream, or pre-analyze it a little and actually have something to say without making mistakes on stream. So thank you again for watching. Thank you always. I will be back on Friday doing Infinite reviews, I hope. which I will find that week's greatest and latest Pathfinder Infinite products and go over them with you. In addition to finishing off Novel Enigma's archetypes from Primal Illusions, and I'll discuss all the other news that's happening in the Paizo Pathfinder world. But if you really want to see all the greatest news, you should check out No Direction, which is tomorrow, Wednesday. They are doing a review with Eric Mona, I believe, of the Absalom, City of Lost Omens, which, wow, that book is looks absolutely incredible. I don't think people know what to expect yet. I think when we see it, I think tomorrow that preview I think is going to, I think we're going to see a lot of pre-orders after that because it's the kind of book that everyone who's on that stream is going to be absolutely jazzed about, and I think it's going to be something real special. And if you want, there's a $300 edition that comes with a big GM screen and coins and a bunch of other cool knickknacks by Beadle and Grimm's. That actually took me heavily by surprise. I'm fine with it. You know, I got nothing against deluxe content for premium prices. So I hope that makes a lot of people happy. I hope it's a big Christmas surprise for a lot of people out there. So until Friday, I hope you all have a great week, have a great evening, and I will see y'all when I see you.